Welcome back to Our Issues Milwaukee. I'm your host, Andrea Williams. If you're just joining us, our focus this morning has been on business. August is Black Business Month, an effort to recognize Black-owned businesses across the country. And a great way to wrap up the month is to be joined by a number of local Black business owners who can not only motivate and inspire by sharing their own personal journeys, but also offer advice to those with goals of starting their own business. Back with us for this segment is Clarene Mitchell. She's the owner of TCM Communications and author of the book Shine Online with LinkedIn. We're also being joined by founders of the Bronzeville Collective, MKE, which is located at 339 West North Avenue, Tiffany Miller of Fly Blooms, and Lila Allen of Papyrus and Charms. Hello, ladies.
Hi. Hey.
Appreciate you all being here because, like I said, you all have a great personal story to share when it comes to business. And during the first segment, we talked about the studies that report that more than half of Black-owned businesses may not survive COVID-19. So if I could get Tiffany and Lila to kind of tell us more about Bronzeville Collective MKE and how business has been for you in this pandemic.
I think business has been actually great after we reopened. So we were closed for 4 months. And then that time we were able to pivot and launch our website, and the online sales were great. But I think people really missed us and missed shopping online. So we've had a ton of folks come in just with the express intention of supporting the collective.
Yeah. And Tiffany, tell us more about the collective, kind of what you guys house and the goal of actually just being a brick and mortar of what many of you started off doing pop-up shops and online sales, and here you are.
So we were afforded, both of our businesses were afforded the opportunity to participate in Pop-Up MKE as well as Rise MKE, a 14-week entrepreneurship program. In that program, Lila and I decided to collaborate and give birth to this shared vision of the Bronzeville Collective. We house over 25 Black and brown makers in the city of Milwaukee and beyond. And it's been a beautiful ride. We've added 4 or 5 businesses so far this month. I think people are really looking for additional outlets to sell their merchandise, their creativity. And the Bronzeville Collective is a perfect place for small businesses to grow who don't want to take that risk of having a brick and mortar during a time of a pandemic, but want to mix it up with e-commerce sales as well as a space that's open 20 days a month for shoppers to get out locally.
Yeah, and that's a breath of fresh air, especially when we're talking about, all these studies that say that there are so many Black businesses that won't make it. You ladies have figured out how to balance it and make it work. So Lila, you've been on this show before telling us about your business and all your unique jewelry and accessories. So I just wanted to point out, I think, was it Erykah Badu that got a hold of some of your stuff and was taking pictures, and you've been doing very well.
So we actually, the collective, we put together a nice gift basket for her when she came in town for a concert, and she FaceTimed me because I left my business card in there with my crown on, and I was like, "Did you make this?" And then we kind of freaked out. Tiffany was there too, and so was Tamara's.
That's awesome. It doesn't get better than that, right?
Wow.
So I also wanted, Tiffany, you have handmade accessories that include head wraps, clutches, your fly blooms, which I have one here, and also a whole lot more. So whereas many businesses are really striving to stay alive during this pandemic, your business has picked up through an opportunity with the City of Milwaukee Health Department. So if you could kind of, in a nutshell, tell us about that.
So my pivot during the pandemic was to make face masks. It's not something that I wanted to do. My dad begged me to make them a month before I started creating them. And as a result, a lot of press picked up around local mask makers. I was included in that. And I was afforded a contract with Milwaukee Health Department that is affording my company the opportunity to create jobs for the first time. So I went from myself to a team of 10 people in like 21 days, which I don't know anybody in my circle has done that and grown their company so fast and so rapidly to meet the demands of creating face masks for the city. Yeah. So I'm definitely excited about that. It's quick, it's fast, it's hard, it's rewarding, and my team is sticking with me, which is really beautiful too.
Yes, I thought that was so beautiful because here we have this pandemic that really just created difficult times for people on so many different levels, not just economically, but mentally, across the board, so many things. And you were able to get a blessing, in the midst of uncertain times. So that is wonderful. And you grew your staff as well, right?
Absolutely. It was just me making masks for the store and for my e-commerce site, but I needed a team, and the team is still growing. I'm hoping more opportunities come so I can employ more people from the community. My team is a mix of Black and brown men and women of all ages, and I love it. I love coming into our space. Our space is at the retreat, which is right around the corner. The retreat is an event space owned by Dasha and Kima Hamilton that has been closed due to the pandemic. So I called, Dasha's my big sister, and I called her like, hey, can I rent this because I need more space? And she said yes. So this opportunity is affording another business the opportunity to stay around longer, in addition to employing people from my community. So I'm grateful. I'm definitely grateful, because I know it's about people, not profit. And I want to hold on to that mentality as opportunities continue to present themselves.
Absolutely. And Clarene, we're not going to forget about you.
So inspired.
I know, and that's the whole idea of this conversation. Absolutely. So, Clarene, what advice would you have for those who are fighting to make sure their business survives during these unpredictable times?
Okay, again, I'm inspired. It's hard to follow up with Lila's success with Erykah Badu and that connection, and then Tiffany and exploding her business during this pandemic. But that is phenomenal how many people, and as you said, businesses are expected, especially Black businesses, are not expected to survive this pandemic. But there's still money to be made. There's still businesses that can be built and thriving during this time. And using LinkedIn is a way to get your brand out there, expand your network, and get the business leads that you need as an entrepreneur. I'm a solo entrepreneur. LinkedIn pretty much is my virtual office. It's where I generate my leads on a daily basis. It's where people are able to vet me, come to me directly when I don't even know them, and vice versa, where even if I reach out to them, they're able to look at my profile and see, yes, I do what I say I do. I'm qualified. They can look at my recommendations and see others who have been clients of mine and attest to the impact of them working with me. So LinkedIn is an untapped resource, I say, with a lot of people and entrepreneurs specifically, because we hear all the hype about all the other social media platforms and don't necessarily hear it about LinkedIn or understand it. So tapping into it, using it consistently to be able to leverage the platform to get the results.
Sounds good to me. And I'm going to leave this open for all of you ladies because Clarene, I know during the shutdown, you were still pursuing a degree of some sort or finishing some type of schooling. I'm not clear on what that was, but you can fill us in.
A women's entrepreneurship program through Cornell University.
Okay, that's awesome. So congratulations on that. And Lila and Tiffany, I know that when we had the shutdown, you guys were almost forced to go 100% online. So talk about that transition and how you were able to kind of send your clients online to still be serviced with all the things they love from you.
So the great thing about the collective, right, is that there's so many of us that we have 25 brand ambassadors, right? So it's not just our store. The store belongs to the business owners that have space in here. So, and we all respectively have our own following. So it wasn't that hard, honestly, to pivot, create the online store, and funnel traffic through social media to the website. And I think we were just also very lucky to get a lot of earned media through like Tiffany's face masks, art and things that we do in our other professions. Both Tiffany and I are professional poets, authors, things of nature, and getting that media also really helped our website to flourish. So, and then I'll let Tiffany expand on that.
Pivoting from that brick and mortar space to e-commerce in 2-3 weeks was a huge undertaking. The cool part about our setup is that we use Square interfaces with Weebly, so you're able to build a website pretty easily. The items that you have on the on your storefront side can easily be inputted into your e-commerce platform. So having that tool or choosing that payment service and their integration with Weebly just made it that much more easier for us to get up and running for e-commerce sales. We also had a donation button on there too, which helps sustain our rent and overhead expenses during that time period as well. And we were able to, through grants and those donations, we were able to pass those benefits onto our vendors. So we were able to offer like 3 months of rent-free to our creatives in the space as well.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. You ladies really had it all figured out. And what I love is, like I said early on, you're able to motivate and inspire with your own personal journeys. And unfortunately, everyone does not have the positive outcome that you do, but there are still people who are aspiring to own their own business, and they don't really necessarily want to let this pandemic stop them, so to speak. So if each of you had to give advice to someone on like one of the main things they need to keep in mind as they take on this journey, what advice would you give them in a nutshell?
I would encourage them to get a business.
Go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. I would encourage entrepreneurs or aspiring entrepreneurs to get a business mentor. Having one for myself was critical, especially at the onset of the pandemic. My business mentor is Dr. Avis Jones DeWeaver out of DC, but having her guidance and influence helped me to pivot very quickly and still be able to flourish my business during this time frame. And then also spend their time constructively. You refer to the program I did at Cornell University online. So even though the activity may not be at the normal pace, doing something with that additional time that helps feed into your business as well.
I love that. Thank you for sharing that. And Lila?
What I will say is what our hashtag is, collaboration works. So make sure you're collaborating and learning from each other. And also a great tidbit of advice that I carry with me from Issa Rae is not to just network up, but to network out. You never know who you'll meet in passing in this entrepreneurship life that can help you with everything from advertising to getting a photo shoot to pivoting through COVID. So that's my advice.
I love that too. And Tiffany?
Perseverance in your dreams is important, especially during this time. In addition to Fly Blooms and the Bronzeville Collective, I am a small business resource coach with WIBIC. My position is specifically around helping businesses start up, thrive, survive through COVID-19. So please reach out to local business organizations like WIBIC, the Small Business Resource Center, for tips, mentorship, or coaching, all of those things to help your business thrive during this time and beyond.
Absolutely. And WIBIC is the Wisconsin Women's Business Initiative Corporation. And
Yes,
I
yes.
want to give you all an opportunity to give a website or way that our viewers can find you to kind of get a peek and see what it is that you do so well. I did mention that the collective is right there on North Avenue in Milwaukee. It's 339, right?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, so what is your website addresses, please, as we wrap up?
It's PAPYRUS and charms.com. Papyrus and Charms.
Clarene?
The best way to connect with me, of course, is LinkedIn. So Clarene Mitchell on LinkedIn, connect with me there. I also have a private Facebook group that's all about LinkedIn. I provide daily tips. I go live every Thursday at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. So LinkedIn Power Moves with Clarene. LinkedIn Power Moves with Clarene is a private Facebook group.
All right, and Tiff, take us out.
Flyblooms.com, FOYBLOOMS.com, and BronzevilleCollective.com.
Sounds good. Thank you, ladies, so much. Clarene Mitchell is the owner of TCM Communications and author of the book Shine Online with LinkedIn. Tiffany Miller is the owner and creative of Fly Blooms, and Lila Allen is the owner and creator of Papyrus and Charms, located at the Bronzeville Collective, MKE, where they are both co-founders. That's going to do it for today's show. I'm your host, Andrea Williams. As always, I thank you for watching, and I do hope you join us again next week as we take another look at our issues Milwaukee. Have a great day.